Hey, what's going on? Happy Saturday evening. Listen, this is your girl Kwamia, aka Kwa Q or Queen, for those who can't pronounce my name. I am coming to you live in color, bringing you Pillow Talk with the T with my amazing sisters, my amazing queens, my amazing sisters, queen sisters from Mama's Cocktail Network. We are bringing you an amazing topic, an amazing show tonight, really fast, really quick, and just bringing it in and diving deep. That's called The Signs Featuring Red Flags. So I'm just waiting for them to come in. So I do see that they are in. Yes. So let me just bring them on. Yes. It's gonna be good tonight. So I hope everybody is doing amazing. Hey.
What's
Hi.
up?
How you doing?
Good love. Happy Saturday.
Yes, happy Saturday. Anybody else joining?
I think we have at least one more girl. She coming on. There she goes. Hey.
Okay. Let me get her. That's what I needed. I needed to pop my bottle.
Girl, I've been popped this bottle.
Hey.
Yes, so I'm so amazed and so happy that you guys was able to come on and accepting my invitation so we could dive deep into this amazing topic and continue on we left off when I was on y'all show and just keep bringing the vibe as always. So
Yes.
yes, so as you guys see that the topic is the signs featuring red flags. So when I basically say signs, I'm saying signs in regards to seeing the signs of seeing that when your relationship is ended, the red flags that so many of us end up ignoring. So in regards to that, a lot of us ignore a lot of signs, or there is signs in relationships in regards to in relationships because that love can make you blind, love can make you not see things. Love could be that spell, especially that D. The D could be able to spell.
Woo. I know about that spell. Damn, I know about that spell.
So, in regards of the signs, what can you basically, what out of each individual one of you guys, what is it that you could be able to tell the viewers, our sisters out here in the world? Because sometimes they miss it, sometimes they're belligerent to it, sometimes they feel like because he loved me, I could change him, I could turn him, I could do this and do that. When you can't do that, we tried. If that was the case, I think we all would have a man.
A lot of them.
Listen,
So what would you guys basically let them know? What is some signs that you could give to our sisters and brothers out here that's in relationships or maybe starting a relationship to say, hey, watch out for these certain signs because those could be signs that you may want to be careful with the fact of, that could be also a red flag.
Wow. So who wants to start? Like we got all the red flags, right?
I know plenty of them.
I'll whoever wants to go ahead because we got a laundry list.
One for me is like hiding the phone is the biggest red flag.
Yep.
Hiding the phone. If he's every time you come around, he throwing that shit in the corner, or he's putting that shit in his bag, or he putting it down. Red flag numero
Yep.
uno.
Oh, it never
Absolutely.
rings. It never rings. It never beeps. You never hear it vibrate.
Or it rings and they don't pick it up in front of you.
Mm.
They walk away. Oh.
They walk away.
See, I don't consider that as a red flag to me.
Really?
That's not a red flag to me because there's times where I have to walk away and I end up if I ring, I may not pick it up. So I wouldn't want that other person to end up taking that as something because I like listen, don't do it to me because I ain't gonna do it to you because I'm going to do it. Because I'm gonna have meetings, I'm gonna have phone calls, I'm gonna have those calls where I may have to walk away. So don't take that as a sign that I'm a red flag that I'm hiding anything from you.
That's different though. You a whole businesswoman.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Right.
About 2:00 in the morning, and
Oh yeah, so definitely But see, then even 2 o'clock in the morning, because even with my sex situation ship, he walked away, he answered his phone.
But it's different because it's a sex situation ship. So there was really no, I can't even say that shit 3 times. Sex situation.
Yo, say it for me one more time. Say it for me one more time.
It's called
sex situation ship. Go ahead, Q. You say it now.
Yeah, I still can't do it. I'm
just trying. Like, I'm gonna say this. It's actually what it is. It's sexuationship.
Sexuationship.
Yeah. It's our New Yorkian accent. Sorry.
That's the thing, or is that something that you kind of called it with you and your boo?
Yeah, I created that.
Girl, you better copyright that shit.
TM.
That shit sounds dope.
The little circle at the end of it. TM.
That shit.
You see, it's different. It's different in your situation because it was a different type of relationship, right? I don't think walking away with the phone or hiding it by itself can be like the ultimate red flag. But if you put it in combination of a whole bunch of other things, then it could lead to a red flag. Listen, my son's father was a player of all players. He did some really smart things. He did some really dumb things. One of the things he did with the cell phone one time is back in the day when we had those Nextels. Those big old bulky phones. He went real quick. He went to go take a shower. He asked me to iron his clothes. I hear like something on metal vibrating. I'm like, what the hell is that? Yo, this fool, okay, actually took his phone and opened the window and put it outside of the window on the metal part. Yeah.
No.
To hide it. But he didn't count on the fact that I'm in a quiet room and it's vibrating on metal.
That's so extra.
Yes.
What the hell? Why the hell did he? That's dumbass shit. Because why the hell he just didn't put it in the bathroom with him? Yeah. Guys, I'm not trying to condone it or like problem solve for anybody.
If he would have took it to the bathroom, let me tell you something. I got so many stories for you guys about red flags with this man. Okay, you know what's a red flag? A red flag is if you call him and he don't answer, or he don't call you back, or he immediately hangs up the phone very quickly on you.
Yes.
It's not about being controlling, but now being in a relationship where we have trust, my husband, like, if you pick up the phone and you're like, hello, and you giving me really quick one word answers, that's a problem.
Right.
Yeah. And then you just hang up, and it's like, especially you hang up in a random moment of conversation.
Ooh,
and you like, hello? Hello, like what the fuck? Like,
and then you call back and nobody answers, or the shit goes to voicemail.
Yes, and when I was on the phone with you, that's just like in Beyonce's song when she say my name on a
right.
Say my name, so I know the chick over there.
You be like, say my name then.
Yo. So I always also say justifying bad behavior. That's also a red flag to me.
Yeah.
When you basically point out some things, and a lot of guys be thinking that we be trying to pick with them or nitpick, or we just so adamant about everything. But listen, we fucking females, we emotional. Like, what you think?
Right.
Absolutely.
So if I feel like you're doing something wrong that doesn't equal to my standards, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to let you know. That if you justify that shit, then I'm sorry. That you out the door. I'm sorry.
I agree with that.
Right.
I agree with that. And I think a lot of times why women stay in relationships so long when they shouldn't have been in relationships is because they are justifying bad behavior.
Right.
Yeah.
Got to the point in a relationship where someone is, and there's certain steps that you can take to kind of start to rectify that behavior, is like you said, talking about it. And if he's not addressing the issue, or he's not working towards the issue, then that's a red flag that you gotta go.
Yeah.
And listen, everybody, we talking from our past experiences. You know, we're not saying this is a one size fits all situation for everyone.
Right.
But I agree with Z. Like, if you bring anything up and it becomes an instant argument, like an instant dragged out argument, and they're like blaming you for everything, that's a red flag. That goes to show they're deflecting and they're trying to hide something. Because when you're in a relationship and y'all want to make it work, y'all might fight, but eventually y'all gonna try to come to the table and make it work. But if this person man or female, is coming at you and it's like, no, it's your fault, or just bringing out excuses, or just trying everything to avoid the conversation, you really
Making
need to
you
take a
sound
look
crazy.
at that. Yeah. Oh, the crazy.
Yeah, making you sound like you're crazy. Like, why are you questioning anything?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
But
Or
the person, I feel like, because, and then just to piggyback what Jazz said, anything a pillow talk with the T, it goes both ways. So we not picking on men. And trust me, I will read a woman so fast as I will read as much as quick that I will read a man.
Yep.
So do not think that we're just talking about men, because there's some fucking crazy women out here too. They ain't got.
Oh yeah.
So
I was one of them.
So even with the fact is when they sit there and they do things, I think, to me, that's another red flag to me. Manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
And you doing it to the fact you manipulate me. Now you're trying to make me think I'm insane. I'm the psychotic crazy one. I'm just seeing things or stuff just randomly popping in my head, and I'm just bringing it to you.
Oh, you fighting for no reason. You want to fight for every reason. There's no reason. You're dramatic. You're emotional. Like, you causing a problem. This is why I can't be around you.
Yeah.
This is why I can't pick up my phone.
That's definitely a red flag. Because
but what's even worse?
Why? Because you don't want me to call your shit out.
Yeah, they ain't gonna admit that, but they rather say it's because you crazy.
Exactly.
But what I find even worse is, what's even more of a big red flag is when they just stop caring. Period. Point blank.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Exactly. That they don't even care to fight. They don't even want to fight with you. Like, oh, that's how you feel? Fine, okay.
Oh yeah, but that's also a sign with the fact we don't care about wanting to fight with you. That's a sign of letting you know the relationship is done.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, it's over.
There's no coming back. They don't care anymore.
And because they don't even care enough to have the energy to either want to try to fight for it, to even fight with you. So even if they do go back and come back and they still trying to everything, it's like, oh, I'm like, all right, yeah, this shit is over.
Yeah.
I agree on that too. That's a big thing, when they don't want to, like, any type of effort in any type of way. It's like, even if you're crying, even if you're like, because I know I don't keep bringing up guys, because everybody knows that relationship I was in was just crash course, and he an asshole. But I think that's definitely it. The non-emotion, like no emotion, just it doesn't matter what happens, that they just don't care. Like it. And that's hard when you're really in it, because by the time you get to a point where one of you doesn't honestly care, usually the other person has, like, seriously emotionally been all over the place.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you're emotionally exhausted. You actually feel crazy. You feel like damaged. You feel everything. So when it gets to that point and you see them not care, that hurts a lot.
Because
a lot.
Right. It plays with your ego. And a lot of relationships, our egos play a big role in what we're doing and what we're trying to stop the doing. It has a lot to do with our ego. So the moment that someone doesn't give a fuck, whether he don't care if what time you coming home with your friends, that's also a red flag. If he's not looking for you, or he doesn't care, he's not checking up on you, all those little things kind of add into a bigger picture. You know, I think it's several things that should be, like, letting you know, hey, there's an issue. But if he's not looking to check on you, not worried about if you good or not, because for me, that's the biggest thing. For me, it's like, yo, I want someone around that's going to love me through good and bad. I want to be there, not just when shit is peachy and, you know, shit is good, because life gets real. Life is very real. We all gonna not be here one day. So I'm gonna need somebody who's gonna have to be there through the good and the bad. So if you're not checking on me, that's a bad for me.
Yeah, like the ones that have the 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door. I've been with somebody like that, and honestly, I tried. I was like, okay, let me just not give up so quick. Let me not sit there, because maybe it's something in his background, his DNA, or something, whatever. But it just got so exhausting to the fact I'm like, I can't do this no more, because it's like, you don't know if you coming or you going.
Right.
I know that I'm steadfast in what it is that I want. I can't do this. I can't play the test game. We are getting too old for this. And I'm like, nah, we're just done. Or even the guys that I stay away from too. The ones that sit there, I think Jazz hit on this, where the fact that where they don't even want, everything is peachy and cream. Soon as something even get out of order or you even bring up something to their attention, then that's when they sit there and they like,
Yep.
I'm going, because they don't want to argue, because they feel
Right.
like arguing is going to mess up their peace. But at the end of the day, everything ain't peaches, cream, and rainbows.
Absolutely not.
And it ain't even about messing up their peace. It's about them being accountable or having to answer questions, and they're afraid they might trip up and give out information that they don't want to. And the thing about, you said the 1 foot in and the 1 foot out, that's a big flag, especially if you started a relationship and y'all were both in and y'all were doing things together and planning for the future and holidays, and then all of a sudden that other person is starting to disappear from those plans.
Right.
All of a sudden he's starting to flake. All of a sudden there's no more talk of the future, and you have the sense of anxiety of you don't know what's happening. Someone's checked out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a big flag too, that something is going on, that they're no longer invested in the relationship. Because anyone who's been in a long-term relationship knows that you don't go a days without speaking to that person.
Right.
They usually know every little thing, even what you ate for lunch sometimes. And not because they're controlling, but you just share. That's your partner. You share your day-to-day with them. So if all of a sudden it's going backwards and it's not moving forward, then you need to take a step back. And y'all been together for a while, there's a reason they checked out.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Mr. Take Over the World, Mr. and Mrs. Take Over the World. No, I wasn't referring to someone being controlling. I've actually been in a controlling relationship. I know what that looks like. A controlling relationship is, you say you going somewhere, they calling you, they making sure they popping up. That's control.
Right.
About somebody who authentically wants to make sure you good. If you told someone, oh, I'm in the hospital, that person should be checking on you that night to be like, yo, is everything okay? Is everything
right?
I mean, like, it's logical stuff. I'm not talking about someone like calling you, texting you all day. Like, no, that's obnoxious, that's obsessive, and that person has an issue.
Want that. I'm sorry.
Or even something as simple as, you know, that somebody gets home at 8 o'clock at night and it's 9:30, 10 o'clock, you still haven't heard from them. It's just one of those things where you're like, oh, you're not home at your normal time. I was just making sure everything was good.
Yeah.
It's more caring than what it is controlling. It's just literally caring about somebody. It's not to be controlling. There's differences, and they're obvious. But when somebody's calling you controlling, when you're trying to be caring, they're hiding something.
Yeah, that's caring. That's normal everyday stuff. I know, like, me and my husband, we ain't controlling, and we call each other throughout the day. I mean, we have a friendship, so anything funny happens, or if I ain't calling one of these girls, I'm calling him. And it has nothing to do with I'm checking in on him or I want to make sure he at where he at. It's just that he's my person.
Exactly.
You know, so there is a difference, and you learn that as you get older. Because when you're younger, a lot of the times you don't know the difference between what is, oh, he loves me or she loves me and that's Mac is cute, to it being controlling.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of young people go through that controlling stuff and think it's a sign that that person cares about them a lot.
That's so true. You see times in young relationships, people over here sharing their locations with their girlfriend. That's crazy.
Yo, my son is 20. My son is 20 years old, and he told me that a few months ago. And he was like, "Yeah, we got in a fight, and then she stopped sharing her location." And I said, "Stop sharing her what?" He said, "Her location." I said, "What is that?" He had explained to me what that was. I was like, "I have a whole husband." They share their locations on their iPhone.
Kids? Yeah, the kids.
Yeah.
I went inside my son's phone. My son is 20 as well. He's 20 years old as well. He's in college. And I went in his phone to go do something because I make sure sometimes I switch the kind of the responsibility. So when he in school, he don't have to depend on me doing certain things. So I went in there. He got like 8 of his friends share locations. I'm like, why? I said, why is all these people? He was like, oh, we share each other's location. So the same 8 you see is the same. Those 8 got me as well on their end. He said, but you see, you on top though, right? I said, oh, you want to butter me up? But I'm like, but y'all share all y'all locations. I said, you know what? I'm not even mad at it because if anything happened, at least someone knows where whomever at, and it's being responsible. So I can't even be mad.
See, in his instance, that's responsibility, right? In my son's instance, it was him and his girlfriend having control over each other.
Oh yeah, I could definitely agree with that one because that's That's what my son said about the girlfriend. And listen, my son, he loved Latino women. I'm telling you, he really do. But I'm like, listen, you know they're a little cuckoo, right?
Cuckoo.
We gonna have to have this conversation.
Wait,
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
My best friend she's Latino. I'm telling you, I remember one time
What is she though? Hold on, is she Puerto Rican, Dominican? There's a big mix.
Yeah,
Cuban.
She's Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay, so she definitely crazy. Shout out to
Crazy. I remember one time we was coming from high school. We went to go sit into our mother's house. Literally, we were sitting on the porch. How we get into a big brawl over a girl by her boyfriend? And I said, listen, long as one of them blades and them knives don't come my way, we good.
Right.
We good. And long as nobody jump her, we good.
You know what I think Latinas is that we are not so crazy depending upon when you meet us in our life.
Yes,
right.
Crazy at 20.
At me in my
25.
I'm not
nuts.
the Z that I am now in my 30s.
No.
Absolutely not.
We changed compared to when we was in high school to now. We about 40 years old, so it's a big difference. But my son, girlfriend, I be like, baby.
We're very passionate. We could be very intense with any emotion that we feel.
It is. Listen.
Yeah.
They changed the energy dynamic in my house when they're going through problems, and she's not even in the house. She's over the phone.
Oh no.
Oh no, this next level shit.
Yes,
I don't know.
So I be like, yo, you and Crystal need to take that shit outside because y'all changing the energy in my house. I want to hear that shit. Like, yo, I'm telling you,
that's some next level shit.
On 100, and of course, and then he's half Indian and also Dominican from his father. So it's like, Jesus, what the hell?
You got a whole Latino crew up in your house.
I think though, when we all in our 20s, like I can tell you right now, I was dumb, highly emotional.
Yep.
I was stigmatized. And all those three things combination have you going on a whole, you go through life with a whole different energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yes, we are kind of crazy in our 20s, and hopefully you go through life experience and it brings you down into your 30s, and then you only pull the crazy out when you need to.
And I think a lot of growing up in the inner cities, the reason why we kind of seen that is because early on there was a lot of competition against females, amongst ourselves, or amongst just anybody, and a lot of that stuff just started to translate into aggression, envy, and like I said, putting our people against each other. And a lot of times you see that kind of play out. I don't know how many times in high school, because I went to high school in Queens, so my high school was pretty diverse, and like the Latino community was really small, but there was a lot of hate in between, like just so much animosity. So, and a lot of it had stemmed from like boys, and it's crazy like what women, I think any race of women would do when it comes to a man, or like we were talking about earlier, that ego.
Well, let's be real. When you're in high school, nobody's a man and nobody's a woman.
Facts.
We're all running on hormones at that point, hence the crazy. So,
oh, but you couldn't tell us that in high school. You can't tell nobody that.
I done followed my boyfriend at the time, because let's be real. When you're in high school, are you really with a boyfriend? Is it a really real big thing at that point? No. But I done went in the car. For you, it is at that point. But I went and took my crazy ass, because what did he do? Not answer my phone calls when he was supposed to come to my house. And I done cooked a full-on Hispanic meal for his ass. So what did I do? I jumped in the car with my friend, and I was like, we're going to follow his ass after work and see where he goes. And we sure as hell found his ass going to a party with a whole lot of other chicks that were not me.
Wow. See, that sound like me, friend Sabrina, because we did the same. Like, I was always doing crazy shit with her all the time. And I'm like, bro, I got to be a real good loyal friend, because me, myself, personally, I don't do shit like this. So she's always like, Q, wow, yo, he said it, and I'm always flying. And I'm like, if I get locked up over you,
facts.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a big problem. I love you, but it's gonna be a big problem. So also
Yep.
another one red flag, if your family or friends do not like the person.
Oh,
Yep. 99% of the time, your family knows before you do.
Yes, especially
damn.
your grandmother, because my grandmother always been the person that always sit there
Yep.
something about the person. She could, first of all, I'm like, you never met this person. I remember one time I came in the house, right? She even told me about my son father before I even knew about the crazy. Like really, and I wish, you know how you could go back and wish, like, damn, I wish.
Yes. Yeah.
So she all I know, she never met him before. We came in after school because we met in high school, and then all of a sudden we walk in. My grandfather met him first. She was like, my grandfather, tall, skinny, very intimidating, deep voice, but at the same time, that's not the one you got to worry about.
Yep.
So when my grandmother come downstairs, she just glanced at him. She was like, she went in the kitchen, she called me. She was like, Kwame. I say, yes. She was like, come here. She was like, nope.
They know.
Like, what do you, she was like, no. She was like, you will listen to me. You don't want to listen to me when I'm letting you know. I feel it, and I'm telling you right now, you will feel it later. You will see it later, but I'm telling you, don't do it. But of course, my ass didn't listen.
Not because they tell us don't
You're
do
not
it.
going
That's really
to.
them saying go for it. If your family tells you don't do it, they might as well just tell you go for it with all your might, because you want to do the complete opposite.
Yep.
Yeah.
And prove them wrong.
Exactly. But see, and this is another story I had. I had a family member. We grew up around around us in the neighborhood. You guys know I'm from Jersey, so and from Essex County area. So then we basically grew up around like these guys. It was girls and guys always in the neighborhood. They used to help us even play jump rope. So that's how close we was. So some of my distant cousins come down like every so often or every other summer, and we know these guys because we live in a complex with them. So as we get older, probably like early 20s, you know what I'm saying? One of my cousins who normally that don't be around but comes, every so often, she ended up deciding to talk to this guy. So we tell her, don't do it, because this dude is completely off the chain, off the wall. Don't do it. So like to the fact that they used to go around the neighborhood like flashing people with their penises. So
Wow.
so when we told her, I don't, to me and my understanding as well as to some of my other cousins' understanding, I guess she felt like we was being jealous, or we wanted him to ourselves, or we wanted him. And so we all telling each other, like, if we wanted him, we could have been had him. Like,
He was flashing his stuff for free. I mean,
we was right, our doors in the complex, we all right behind each other, back to back, side by side doors.
Wow.
It's like we know we don't want them because we know who they are, and we've seen them growing up, and we know the substance of who they not. So, but of course, long story short, she ended up finding out who he really is herself. So that's what I'm saying. You also got to be careful with that, because some people, family members, will think because you're telling them that either jealous or you want them for yourself, and it's like it's not even that. It's like, listen, trying to tell you something, girl.
That's the first thing that they automatically jump to, because it's like, you don't want me to be happy, so you're going to say something negative about him because I'm happy. So they're automatically just assuming the worst of you, as opposed to actually taking a step back and looking at the situation for what it is. He 99% more than likely knew he wasn't right for her.
Yes. You know what? A lot of the times, and I can speak from experience, you end up coming back at that person who's telling you he's not a good person or she's not a good person as a deflection, because you see the flags yourself, but you want it to work. And so you spending all this emotional energy trying to convince yourself that this is really the person for you, and trying to ignore those flags. The last thing you need is people close to you reminding you of those very red flags that you're trying to forget.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the times why you end up getting a lot of hostility towards your family who's just trying to look out for you, because you're not ready to admit to yourself that, you know, they're not the one.
Exactly.
So they end up getting the short end of the stick, because you're like, yo, I'm trying to convince myself he's the one. I know he's an asshole. At the same time, you keep telling me he's like, I can't deal with you. And then sometimes you end up separating yourself from those very family members, because you're trying to really convince yourself that this is it when it's not.
Exactly. That is so true. But we stopped telling her so and let her find out for herself. I feel like
yep. People need to find out on their own all the time.
Be what it is, and at the end of the day, we was there for her whenever she needed us. But
matters.
So then also another red flag is they refuse to take responsibility. Like, they just not taking responsibility for their actions, what they do, if they doing something incorrect or wrong or whatever. And I'm sorry, I'm out the door. I'm like the Tasmanian devil with a lot of these red flags. I'm not giving you another chance.
Right.
Yeah.
I think what it is, because I'm getting older, my patience is very thin. I'm gonna tell you, I only got one child. My son sucked all my patience because he made up for any child I didn't have or I may wanted to have and couldn't have. So I don't got it. So if you the same way how God say, oh, they want their peace, I'm a chick that want my peace, and I'm not taking anything. And if I just see this a little smidge, I'm sorry, I'm cutting it off.
Yep. But that's called learning.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think so, because you know what, your peace is so important in a relationship. You know what I mean? It is so important to kind of have that peace, have that sanity. It does the world of a difference.
Yeah. Sorry, you guys. We just so into listen when we get together.
Yeah.
Cookie's already yelling at us. Cookie, why
Cookie?
We know Cookie.
When we get together, listen, we it's like we don't see nobody.
Sorry, but you know, let me tell you, it's experience, right? Because in our like early on, I could say like you don't know no better, so you put up with a lot of stuff, and
right.
But that stuff that you went through, it really helps you on as you become more of a mature woman. Yeah. And that's it's not even your patience, it's your tolerance for bull BS. It's just like becomes almost non-existent. Mm-hmm. And you know what your standards are. You already been through the worst, so you already know what you're gonna put up with and what you are gonna put up with. So even when girls tell me about their relationships, I don't even have to meet the dude, and I'm like, damn, red flag. But I know that I have to tread lightly, because from before when people ask you for your advice, they don't really want your advice a lot of the times. Mm-hmm. They want to hear what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so unless you're really, really comfortable with this person and you're really close to this person and there's trust there that they, you know, that you'll be able to tell them the real thing and they're not going to hold it against you, they don't really want to hear what you have to hear.
Yeah.
But exactly. There's girls that tell me about their relationships and I'd be like, oh my God, like I'm getting flashbacks from when I went through what I went through. Like, but they don't see it because they still in it. They haven't came out of it. They haven't looked back, processed it. Mm-hmm. And they want to believe it so bad.
Yes. So let's get to these comments before they end up sitting there violating us and stuff.
Cookie, you going in, Cookie?
Yeah, so
we love Cookie.
To go back up, Benji said you ladies looking beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, let's see. Oh, grandmothers know best. Yeah, they do, which I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
Always saying, watch when you had your own kids.
It's true.
And they don't sugarcoat it. They don't sugarcoat
I
it.
see myself saying
nope.
My son.
When you got your own kids, you gonna know.
Yes. Let's see. The greatest friction and tension amongst the family. Yeah, with the whole thing, especially trying to tell them something, you know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, trustably, I didn't want neither one of them. So that was okay for me.
My grandmother was ruthless too. She didn't have a lot of nice things to say about my son's father. She was very raw. Too raw, actually.
Got you. Oh, EO in the building. East Orange, yes. Grandma, oh yeah, grandma. Okay, people can't pick up on other spiritual energy, and if it's too off, they will know immediately. Everyone can do it. Yeah, especially women. Women. First of all, we have the most gifted power that God had created, given us. We've been blessed with such things called our intuition. And some of us really sit there and ignore it. We ignore it. We refuse to not listen to it. We refuse to just to sit there like, oh, I feel it, but I'm pretend like I'm not gonna feel it. It was created. Our intuition was created and built inside us for a reason. So we need to actually listen to it. Don't ignore that shit, because that shit be telling you something.
That thing, if you ignore it, it will literally make you sick.
Yeah.
It's true.
It will literally make you sick, because that voice is gonna keep still talking to you, pestering you, just nagging at you. It's gonna give you a whole bunch of anxiety. You're gonna have migraines. You're gonna be stressed out because it's talking to you and you refuse to listen.
It's not worth it.
Nope.
That's always pay attention. People show you who they are, but when you see it, believe it. Most of the time, you're looking for emotional emotional part. Yeah, because the thing is, that's why a lot of us women don't pay attention to our intuition, because we paying attention with our heart and not the head.
Yeah.
So when you separate those two, that's why those two be saying different things. But we so focused on I'm in love and I want to for everything that I see what's going on.
Let's be fair, ladies, because I don't even think it's just
right.
Like, I think it's also men too. Not all men, but there are men who do lead with their emotional side. Because there are females out there who will take advantage of men who they feel like they can walk all over. You know, there's a lot of females out there, and I'm not hating on it. Hey, it's a whole wave who out there trying to get the bags. You know what I mean? So I think that just as human beings, we tend to lead with our emotions. And a lot of times men don't lead with their emotions. Some men, because they not taught to do that as young kids. They're taught to man up, you know, always stand up for yourself, don't show emotion, don't cry. So a lot of times that translates into their relationships, into their marriages. Then they don't have emotion. So when they don't have emotion and they don't know how to express themselves, that's where that whole confusion comes. A lot of times we may think that's him not wanting to. He may not know how to. You know what I mean? I did a whole thing on my page talking about we gotta allow our sons to be emotional. We gotta allow our sons to cry. We gotta welcome that. We can't look at that as a sign of weakness, because then when they grow older, they gonna look at that shit like a sign of weakness.
And it's true that men can get hurt. My husband was open in a recent podcast, and he explained how he got his heart broken. He was the one that was played. He was the one that was left, you know, reeling and confused because he felt that the rug was taken over. And he said, men act like it doesn't hurt, but it does hurt.
Facts.
You know, so it does go both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely agree with that, because even when I was on with Off the Top Media, we had a viewer that come in, and to me, I respect other people's opinions because we all different. We gonna have different viewpoints. My thing is, just don't come in trying to have me make your shit make sense. Like, and I'm like, it should make it make sense. But then if you trying to come at me aggressively for me to make it make sense for you, it doesn't work. So his thing was, because I had always taught my son it's okay to show emotion. It's okay to cry. It's okay for you to express yourself verbally from your emotions. You are a human being. You have a heart broken just like all females do. Your heart going to ache just like a female going to ache. So if it hurts, express it. You know what I'm saying? But express it in a healthy way. So my thing is, the guy was saying, well, you just telling your son that it's okay to cry. So what is you telling okay to cry about? So I say, so I gotta come on here to give you bullet point by bullet point what it is, the intimate, detailed conversation that me and my son had. I think you should be a smart man. If you on here to look at us have our podcast and you able to read the comments, you should be able
Yep.
to know that, okay, she mean more intel than just, saying she said it's okay for him to cry. So I say, first,
Yep.
I don't think my son will be appreciative for me to share the intimate conversation
Right.
they have. Because regardless, I may share some of my things on my podcast. I can't give y'all everything all of me.
Right.
Have to be sacred and have to be a private. And I definitely can't share my son's life unless he say, "Mom, let me tune in your podcast. I'm ready to share my story." Then he be sharing his story on his own time. But I can't share that. So I'm explaining to this young gentleman. Then he's coming to me. So I said, "Well, how about us stop talking about it and let's do something about it?" So he was like, "Well, you tell me how," because I asked him, I said, "So what you do with your children?" He said, "Well, I'm not a parent." So how the fuck can you tell me?
How are you telling a parent how to do your parents?
At that point, you should have blocked him. All types of a block was warranted.
Right.
I think that the problem with this whole men can't cry, especially in our communities, is ridiculous. Like, this whole notion of you show emotion that shows you to be weak is absolutely nonsense. When a person cries, regardless whether it's a male or a female, it's because the emotion is coming out.
Right.
Rather it come out in tears, allow them to have that minute so that they can regroup and move forward, than for them to sit on it and that should start coming out in anger or destructive behavior. Like, we have to remind ourselves and everyone around us and in our communities that just because you cry, it don't make you weak. If anything, is strong. It makes you strong. Because if it was so easy to show emotion, everyone would be out here walking around with Kleenex, right?
Exactly.
It's just that people need to normalize emotion. They automatically tie emotion to a female characteristic. The moment you cry, oh, you're being a girl. No, the moment you cry, you're letting go of an emotion that bothered you. It's not male or female. We're both human. It doesn't matter if I have a penis or I have a vagina.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, you have emotions the same way I do. It doesn't matter. And if we want to go and talk about the whole male, female, men are meant to be strong, females are meant to be weak, is bullshit. I birthed a person. So at the end of the day, I'll still, no matter what, I'll argue to the death, women are stronger than men. Yeah. But don't, emotion doesn't make you weak. Emotions make you open to the fact that you're aware of what's going on around you.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that you of your emotions.
Yes.
You have, that shows me that you have emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Are aware of your feelings. And then, but the thing is, like, even though when Zelda was saying what she was saying about the fact of,
did you call me Zelda, girl? It's Zeta.
Zeta, my
Zelda.
I'm like, Zelda, I'm looking around like, I know she's not talking to me. My name is Zeta, like Jada Kiss, like that, boo. I'm joking. I love you.
My bad, boo.
That's a new one. We gotta add that to her list. She gonna go all types of things.
Y'all don't be out
here. Zelda. Be like, "What's up, Zelda?"
My era is Zeta.
It's all right. It's all right. Q could call me Zelda. Q only. That's it.
That's it.
So in regards to when you were saying that it's okay to actually have for guys to show emotion, the only thing that I want to correct that is the fact is that because I am a boy. I'm a mom of a boy. I'm a boy.
Yep.
And you not gonna talk over my boy.
Right.
So I gotta just be aware to these women out here. My son, he's strong. He's a quarterback. He will bust.
Good for him.
He will bust some ass. At the same time, he's very emotional, intelligent about his feelings.
Yeah.
What I don't like to see is a lot of women, young ladies or girls and grown-ass women, trying to make the guys seem like they weak because they're emotional, intelligent about their feelings, and they do express their feelings or they will shed a tear. One thing, don't let me catch somebody calling mom weak, because you're going to definitely get mama bear coming straight.
There you go.
I feel you. I'm a mom boy too. These ladies know.
We all are.
He has gotten his heart broken. I have gone through those emotions with him. That's why I say it's important that we as adults normalize the conversations with our children, both male and female, that it is okay to have feelings, because that's where it starts. If we start teaching that in our homes, then they will in turn grow up to then spread that to their friends, their families, and the children that they will have. And I think that's where the disconnect is because we're the generation. It's like a lot of us are learning how to express emotions, are okay with having emotions and talking about emotions, but there's still a lot of us who are holding on to the beliefs of the past,
Right.
which is you got to keep it close to the chest.
Right.
So we're kind of like in that mixed kind of limbo type of time. But I agree, don't call him weak just because he understands his emotions.
Exactly. Because
That's a sign of a good man.
it be confused. It's like women want, so it's like, to me, a lot of women or young ladies out here that end up becoming women, it's like they don't know, they say they know what they want, but then it's like they showing me they really don't know what they want. Because it's like one thing come out their mouth like, oh, I want my man to be understanding to my needs and my emotions and be attentive to my needs. And for him to also to communicate with me, to express to me, to let me know how he's feeling. But then when you get that, you now want to call him weak. He ain't strong. Man up. What are you doing? What's going on over there? Like,
it's very selfish. It's one-sided.
No, is ignorance. You see,
Right.
that's why we trying to break that cycle. It's not broken unless we physically do the work, because it's ignorance. I'm going to tell you, when I was younger, when I saw a man cry, I did think they were weak, because myself, I struggled with the same type of thing as a female. I'm a alpha female where I like to be in control. I like to, so I only show weakness with the people that I trust, not with everybody. So it's ignorance. It's when we start teaching our sons to be emotional and teaching our sons to know, like, hey, if somebody does call you weak, you need to educate them, because that's how we start to break the circle, you know, just in general. Because that girl probably grew up in a household where her father was telling her when her brother cried, he's weak, or why you act like a girl, or I don't want to see you crying. The infamous one, I don't want to see you crying because I'm gonna give you something to cry.
Something to cry about.
I know my father told that to me a million times. So I, as a 30, almost 35-year-old woman, struggle with emotions and being emotional. So this is a generational curse that we need to fucking break now. We need to have conversations in our
absolutely.
And a lot of the times these young girls, they don't know what they want in a relationship because they don't even know themselves. Like, let's be real. When you in your teens and in your 20s, a lot of the times you're going off of what you see on television, or you're going off of what you see in the relationships that you had in your house or in your family that were around you. So you think automatically that those are what your needs are going to be, and that you're looking for someone to fulfill those needs you think that are yours. But it's not until you actually are in relationships, you start to live life and you start to experience things, that you start to realize, okay, well, no, I may want someone who talks to me and does show emotion, that will speak the same emotional language, as opposed to someone who holds everything to the chest. I didn't know that I wanted someone that was emotional like me. I didn't know that in my 20s. I thought that I wanted the bad boy. I thought that I wanted someone who just held everything to himself and held it down, and I didn't have to worry about it. But now that I'm older, I'm like, no, how am I going to be the partner that I'm supposed to be for my husband if I don't respect him enough to learn what it is that he needs? That means that I have to be that soft place for him to fall, and allow him to be okay to open up and tell me what that is. You have to let your man feel comfortable enough to come to you and say, yo, this is making me scared. Yo, this is making me mad. Yo, and cry to you. Like, you ladies, and guys, if you have a tough woman, you have to let her come to you and be able to know that you're that safe place to fall.
Absolutely. And also, just to run down just a couple of ones, because I know you guys are crunched for time. I love you, ladies.
Oh,
no, we love you.
The last time, girl. We gonna come back here.
Trust me, I know. And just to run down a couple of red flags. Also, as they have something to hide, as we already mentioned. They are mean to other people. They cross boundaries. They are rushing things. They are controlling who you see and what to do if you experience red flags. So basically we talked about red flags, and I always tell people, even men and women, because it's not a whole bias, it's not a whole thing like it's one sex thing, it's men and women. So basically they say normally when you if you do experience a few red flags, it may not be necessary for any reason to cut the ties off yet.
Right.
We could X that shit out. We could be like, yo,
not in our 30s and 40s. Ain't nobody got time for all of that.
he ain't got the
They may not be aware of their behavior, so talking to your partner about their problems is the best initial approach. Yeah, I will talk to you about it. I'm gonna bring it to your attention one time, but I'm not gonna sound like a news
Right.
a breaking news about a whole world mass massacre and keep repeating the same news over and over.
Right.
Not happening. I'm gonna speak about it. I'm gonna let you know, bring it to your attention. Now, if you don't fix it, because what I don't like when you do bring these things to their attention and they say, okay, my apologies, or if they even apologize about it, but then it's like they'll say, okay, I make a change, or they're like, oh, you brought it aware to me. But then how long now to the fact that I brought it aware to you that you are now start reflecting change?
Yep, that's true.
Yep.
I always say, what is my logo, girls? I forget it now, but I always say, like, I'd rather action than words. I'm a person.
Right.
I want you to lead by action. I don't want to hear a million I'm sorry's. I don't want to hear a million things.
You say bring solutions, not problems.
Right.
Yo, that's my logo. Give me solutions, not problems.
Exactly. Listen, not only to give me solution, not problems, but I need for you to be my peace, and I need not to be my peace. I need for you to add to my peace.
Yes.
Right.
I need also for you to sit there and to be like someone that's bringing that and not my problem. Don't be the problem to me. I don't want
and be my my emotional safe space. Like, I need you to be a part of my emotional safe space. Like, I shouldn't feel anxiety because you're withdrawing from the relationship. You're not doing the things you did before. Like, you shouldn't be creating anxiety of where we stand in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Speak it. If there's a problem, speak it. Let us know so we can fix it. And if we can't fix it, then we move on. But don't ever let somebody in that weird limbo state where one is already moving on and the other person is still in the relationship. And then they break up and that one person is struggling because this one's already 5 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing to do to somebody. You already mentally gone. You already planned your escape, and this person is still thinking they're fighting for their relationship. That is one of the worst things you can do to somebody.
Yeah,
but essentially, it's being honest. But I feel like a lot of the time when that happens, they were never invested in the relationship to begin with. Because if they were, they would care enough to let you know, listen, I'm not in it no more. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm out the door. I don't want to I don't want to keep dragging you along. But if they actually really care for you at some point, they would take it upon themselves to be like, listen, this is what I think we should be doing next. I don't want to be with you no more. I don't want to hurt you, but I don't want to be with you anymore. So I'm going to let you go and I'm not going to drag you along.
Exactly.
But that requires somebody who's mature enough and who's actually invested in the relationship to actually do that. Most times, if they're doing it, they don't give 2 fucks about you to begin with.
No, exactly.
Because if they did, they would have already told you this and they would have already set that motion into play. But 99% of the time, if they're dragging you along, they're not invested. They don't care. They don't want anything to do with you. It's just you're another conquest for them. It is what it is. You're not of a level where they actually respect you enough to have that conversation.
That's true. So
I don't agree with that all the way. Sorry, E. I don't agree with that all the way. I think that you can no, because I think that there can be a relationship that they start off on equal footing, like you really are invested, and then somewhere along the line someone can lose interest. So it's not necessarily that they didn't care for you from the beginning. It's just that at this point they don't care anymore.
Right. But then so I mean I get that, but if you cared for somebody initially and you're willing to drag them through the mud and the trenches because you're no longer invested, then you're even more fucked over or fucked up than the person
that's different,
who didn't care about you in the first place.
Yeah.
Because at this point, you did care about me at one point, but you're okay with the fact of hurting me even more.
Yeah.
You should at least you should have at least said, you know what, nah, I'm not gonna do this to her anymore. That's messed up. I really don't want to be with her anymore. I'm not invested anymore. I'm not gonna do that to her. Because I care about her well-being.
Yeah.
Now at this point, you're like, I checked out. I'm already done. I don't care anymore. I feel like at that point, there's no more respect. You don't have any more respect for me.
Yeah.
You don't care about my emotions enough to do that.
Yeah. So basically, from each and every one of us, what is the closing argument that we can end up giving some advice to people in regards to just being aware of red flags, or if you in a relationship, if you see signs that your relationship is over, just it's time to cut the ties.
I think I can end by saying, like, you're stronger than you think you are.
Yeah.
You're not in this alone. Talk to somebody that you trust, because I think it's so easy for us as women to be like, yo, just cut it off. A lot of times there's a lot of things invested in relationship.
Right.
Yep.
So I know it's not that easy. It's not that cut and dry, especially if there's kids involved, if there's
Right.
a house involved, if there's a whole bunch of things involved, it could be really difficult. I would just say, like, you know what your limits are. You know what you're willing to accept. Once you feel like he's crossed that line, definitely jump out, because once he's crossed that line and that's your boundary, he's just going to keep doing that.
Yep.
Yes, I definitely end up agreeing with that. So that is a great, amazing closing argument. And I would add to also just to say, if you also not ready for a relationship and you're not capable or willing to take anybody else's emotions and feelings in consideration and be responsible for them, don't even do it. Just stop yourself, do what you need to do, and just don't even involve anybody into it, because hurt people, and we don't need the cycle continue hurt and trauma and triggers and unhealthy emotions going on in our community, because we need to at least at some point put a stop to it. So listen, and I appreciate you, Nancy. Thank you, girl. You are the bomb. You be
She's awesome.
That's our girl. We love her.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nancy G. She is our digital creator for Mamas.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. So I gotta put you on my payroll. Yes, I do. And listen, everybody in the comments, we do appreciate you actually coming, who came in, who stayed, who didn't, and go in and out. We appreciate it. Listen, this is not the last time that Mama Cocktail Hour and Pillow Talk with the Tea is going. This fact that they're crunched for time and we couldn't be so much engagement, but I hope that this topic and this conversation has brought some awareness to someone. And listen, share, like, follow, comment.
Yeah.
Anybody that you see on the stream, please go and follow them, support them. And my girls, let us know what you guys have coming up and where they could be seeing you guys coming up soon, what you have that they need to stay updated with.
Sure, you can follow me at what is it? Is it Zeta or underscore? I always forget how that shit goes. But you guys can follow me there. You can also follow our podcast at Mama's CH Network, where we talk all things relationship, mental health, everything that you could think of. We don't kind of stray away from any topic.
Yes. Listen, thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate that. And again, thank you so much, Nancy, for putting our handles in just representing throughout the whole show.
Thank you for having us. We love you.
Yes,
we love you.
Thank you. You guys have an amazing night. I gotta go to an event myself, and I'm about to drink up and be merry.
Girl.
Cheers.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
So that was the beautiful, amazing queens from Mama Cocktail Network. Listen, I'm just so appreciative that they came through and actually represented with me and actually dived into this conversation. And again, this is not going to be the last time you will see Mama Cocktail Network, as well as with Pillow Talk with the Tea, coming together and diving and giving you some great conversation, giving you some great content, and actually just bringing awareness to our community. You guys go follow Pillow Talk with the T. Go follow all the ladies from the Mamas Network. Please keep and support. Listen, support is free. It's nothing. It don't cost anything. So just make sure you guys actually just go and support them. And remember, if no one told you today, know that I love you, and remember that you are not who you were yesterday, that you are today. And just want to just bring to your attention, your girl has a whole full schedule for the month of September. So, and the remaining of August. So just to let you know to stay tuned, you can listen to us at everywhere, every platform, anywhere that there's a podcast streaming network. Thank you, sis. Anywhere that there's a podcast network, you could be able to find Mama Cocktail Network as well as Pillow Talk with the T podcast. Please go and support us. If we don't support one another, who will, right? Also, next week, September 1st, I am coming with you to collab again. Collaborations throughout this month. I collab with my beautiful queen sisters, now collabing with so many other people in the podcast industry. So next week, September 1st at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am collabing with the Red Lipstick Vibe podcast. We are speaking on levels of attraction. Then Thursday, September 2nd at 9 p.m., I am collabing with another podcaster as well as another glass maker and t-shirt shop live person. So we basically talking about September 2nd at 9 p.m. is Cheating the Choice. So I have a guest co-host by the name of Ty, collaborating with Let It Rap podcast, and also a special guest from Mo from MTG_Glassworks. Also next Saturday, September 4th at 8 p.m., I am bringing on an amazing music guest by the name of Mans Williams. His single, he have 2 singles out now that's basically on all streaming platforms where music are hosted at. It's called Makeup. One single is called Makeup. The other one is called Dance With Me. So yes, absolutely. So, definitely, we're going. My calendar is full. Your girl is working. Your girl is busy. So let me get out of here. You guys enjoy the remaining of your beautiful Saturday evening. Make sure you please be safe. Drink responsibly if you're out, and also stay safe. And remember to love on one another. And you guys have an amazing night. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe Mama Cocktail Hour Network as well as Pillow Talk with the T podcast. You guys have an amazing night. And I love you guys. Peace.